3, 2, 1, go!
Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Data Sim live stream. Today is the 15th of August 2024, 3 minutes past 8 in the evening. We're back in X-Plane 12, and today we are flying one of the most iconic aircraft ever created, but certainly of the 20th century. That's the Lockheed Martin SR-71 Blackbird. And now this is an aircraft in early access and early development by VSKYLABS. They make all sorts of experimental aircraft, but they got the texture from the original aircraft in X-Plane 11, and this is not your run-of-the-mill arcade SR-71. They want this to be as realistic as possible. I purchased it at the beginning of the week, and I've blown up the engines, I've crashed it, I've lost control so many times. It's a real challenge to fly. You have to fly it just like the pilots flew it like back in the day, and yeah, they have a really comprehensive manual. But I managed to achieve my first successful flight today. We're in RAF Lossiemouth here in Scotland. We'll be crossing the Atlantic to Newfoundland. We'll be going to St John's there. Conventional aircraft, I had a look on SimBrief, would take around 5 hours and 10 minutes if you were flying around Mach decimal 7879. Would you like to hazard a guess, chat, how long it should take us, live time, live weather, in the SR-71 this evening at Mach 3.2? You'll have to have a guess, and I'll let you know in chat. But we're live time, and the reason I wanted to stream it this time, look, the sun's about to set here in Scotland. We are going to be flying westbound towards the setting sun, and we will see it rise again by the time we get to Newfoundland. It's an awesome experience, this aircraft. I thought it would be just something a bit different. We don't generally fly military aircraft here, but the SR-71 is truly iconic as well. Now, to sort of allow us to navigate there, the aircraft unrealistically does come with default X-Plane FMC. We'll be sort of using that just to follow the routing. I think traditionally they use stars to navigate in celestial bodies. or stars or some sorts there. But yeah, that's the only thing we're doing today is using this default FMC just to follow the aircraft. But the autopilot is very true as to the original autopilot. It doesn't have out hold, it doesn't have vertical speed, it holds the speed really nicely, but you have to follow the correct profile to get to Mach 3.2. We also can only take off with 40,000 pounds of fuel. We need to refuel. The refueling in this is very basic, it's quite good fun, but basically a static KC-135 tanker appears, it refuels you up to 80,200 pounds. You need to make sure you got every single pound of thrust, because if you don't do this, I learned this in my test sector, the fuel vaporizes and blows up and catches fire and the engines blow up. So yes, another thing which I learned to the test sector are these cones. Make sure there's controls in there to make sure they're in the auto position. I tried going above Mach 2.5 with these cones and not in the correct position. Both my engines flamed out. So yes, there's a lot to think about in this aircraft as well. It's really good fun. Again, I purchased this myself, $30, and this is going to be a really exciting element. Top marks in chat if any of you can actually guess what the first VSKYLABS aircraft I purchased was. I've only ever purchased one. Only the oldest members of the channel remember that. Anyway, let's have a look who we have here in chat. We have Rohit Chastis here. He says, hello Captain, hope you're doing well. Clapanzi says, also that's pushing the limits of the range if I remember right. Yeah, we're right on the edge of the range here. Once we refuel 80,200 pounds, by the time we descend, it would be around the same point we'd have had to have refueled again to get back up to Mach 3. I think you can only sort of sustain it for about an hour and a half or 2 hours or so. I'm not exactly sure as well, but I'm all new to this aircraft. Oh, my beacon lights. Oh no! What have I done? I've accidentally... What have I... Oh, I think because I've clicked the thing, I've accidentally started the engines. No, I don't want that. I think if you press this, it starts the engines. No! No, I'm not ready! I'm not ready! I might have to restart the flight. Oh, crikey, it starts the generators up. Well, we'll just move away from that because we don't want to start the engines. Oh, it's incredibly loud, as it would be in real life. Well, let's just... never mind. Lauren, who's this? Special KC-135 model TM with CFM, separate tanks to the tanker to use them for the SR-71. Yeah, it had this very volatile fuel, didn't it? Maybe if I click it again, I can turn it off. No, I'm just going to Oh... Yeah, it's not going to start the engines though. Hopefully we'll just leave it like that. Yeah, it's very volatile fuel, this stuff, wasn't it? I can't remember what it was called. JP7 fuel. It was a special, unique type of fuel for sure. Immediate pro streamer moment. I know. What's the chances of me clicking that one tiny generator with my mouse there? Anyway, sounds like the IXEG engine startup. Yeah, it's just these V8 generators or whatever they sound like. They sound pretty beastly here. Yeah, 1 hour 30 minutes, 2 hours. It's going to be an hour and 15 minutes, guys, for us to cross the Atlantic at that sort of speed. Oh, I can't believe I did that. That's really annoying. Let me just. I'm just gonna restart the thing because I didn't want to do that. I want to show you the external model, which I can't do with the engines running like that. So let me just restart the flight here. There we go. Because I want to show you the external model. So yeah, Rubs, I heard it leaked oil on the ground because the panels swell when it was in the air. Yeah, leaked fuel, I believe. It leaked fuel, which is pretty cool. There we are, but look at the external model of this aircraft, it's absolutely awesome. But yeah, if you click that outside, then it actually starts these generators up. Yeah, Mach 3.2, I think unofficially it went a lot faster. We'll get up to 70,000 feet, then sort of cruise at 3.2. We'll probably peak at 80,000 feet before we start our descent as well. We'll use sort of mid-afterburn. I think you have sort of 2 levels of afterburner on this. I've been reading the manual, so we use full for takeoff. We literally set light or low afterburner, then full. We climb up to 33,000 feet within 6 minutes, refuel, and then by the time we've done that, we'll be over the Atlantic to go supersonic. The supersonic climb and cruise takes around 15 minutes. James Cooper, hope you're doing well. 36 months as a member. Sorry I missed the start. I hope you're well. Very well. You missed just the point where I accidentally started these generators, but yeah, well, what's happened to my nose wheel? It's all cocked there. I hope you're doing well, James. Thank you very much for your continued support. Oh, you're a pro streamer, absolutely. I hope you're doing well, Hayden. Lee Holcroft there as well. Greg Scott too. Cool. Oh, there you are. Let's jump into the cockpit. Looks very sort of mid-20th century design. We've got sort of most of it's modelled. Some of it is, some of it isn't. So you've got sort of radio controls down here. This is interesting. I've been reading about this. See this? It's called TEB. You get 16 shots of this. I can't remember the exact chemical name. I read a note of it. Triethylbrain. So basically, this was fired into the engine to start it, and also to ignite the afterburners, but you only get 16 goes in flight. If you keep trying to go into afterburner, it uses another one of these TEB shots. So you start with 16 and they count down every time you go into the afterburner. First thing I need to do is make sure these spikes are in auto. If they're not in auto, that's the position of the spikes in the engine inlet to control the air going into the engines. Leave them in auto, otherwise the engines flame out at high speed. Here's the indicated airspeed in hundreds of knots, so 100, 150, 200 knots, the artificial horizon, your conventional HSI. The altimeter is really interesting. These are in thousands of feet, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 feet. Obviously it goes up to 80,000 feet plus. Engine controls are all down here. Flight control computer. Here's the FMC. This wasn't in the original one, but it does allow you to navigate somewhat with modern navigation waypoints, which is pretty good. Here we go ahead. Juice, thank you very much for your continued support as a member. I hope you're doing very well. Thank you indeed. Michael, I love the interview done by one of its pilots where people try to outdo each other requesting ground speed check. Now, one of the members commented that in the community post. Apparently, it's not true, but it was quite a cool story regardless. But maybe it is true. I don't know. Anyway, just before we get started, let me show you where we are and where we're going. So I just generated a flight plan. I think it was based on a 747. And just to show you, look, there's the flight time, 5 hours and 8 minutes if you're in the 7.4, and it's going to take us about an hour and 15. Now, the model here is meant to be quite authentic and true to real life, and it's utilising X-Plane 12 to simulate Mach effects and all of those good things. The descent planning in this is really tricky. Usually, the manual says you start top of descent 300 miles away. Now, I did that on the test sector. Now, to stop the engines from blowing up, you have to reduce the EGT here to, what was it, 720? And I don't know if they need to adjust the drag model, but when I reduce the EGT, here it is, to 720, I find it really difficult to descend without overspeeding. So if you reduce it further, the engines blow up. So I might start our top of descent, wait for it, 500 miles prior to our destination. But if we overshoot it, fine, we'll do some orbits at Mach 1.5 to slow down. But yeah, it's going to be a quick sector. So, as I said, we'll take off. We'll need to refuel because we only have, if I move this navigraphs up, 40,000 pounds of fuel. Anymore, we won't be able to take off. So we take off with that. We then refuel 80,200, which is the max capacity, and then we'll use pretty much all of that to get to Newfoundland, and those are the waypoints we're flying to today. And then in the background, I have here the included PDF, which is actually contains the original classified documentation from the Blackbird. How long is this manual? 491 pages, and it's all information about the Blackbird. But this you actually need to follow to fly the aircraft. So obviously all the systems here go into a lot of detail, but the parts we're interested in is normal procedures, and you actually have to follow this to actually get to the correct phase of flight. So that there's a really important table here. This is it. I know you can't really see it very well, but VSKYLABS have made that larger for me in the included documentation. That's the climb profile, and you need to follow this. If you don't follow this, you won't get to Mach 3.2 in the cruise. So it's really interesting. You cruise up to 33,000 feet, you then descend to 29,000 feet with full power, and then you climb either at 400 or 450 knots, and we're going to climb at 450, maintain 450 with full afterburner until we get to Mach 3.2, which should roughly happen when we reach 70,000 feet. So yeah, you've got to follow this guidance in the documentation, otherwise it just simply won't work, which is great because it's super realistic. Right, I think we've mentioned everything. Todd, is this a VATSIM job today? No, we're offline today. We're offline. If you don't ask ATC for a speed check, I'll unsubscribe. But yeah, let's see how fast we can go. So, to power the aircraft, all you need to do, like I said, the systems modelling is coming along, but it's quite basic. You could put the battery on, you can hear your breathing oxygen in your spacesuit straight away. We're live weather, so here in Lossiemouth, we'll take off from runway 23, so we're just located on the apron there, so we'll taxi Foxtrot Alpha. The weather here is not too bad at all. It's the surface wind's 260 at 14, so it's a bit of a blustery wind from the west, but I think 28 might be a bit too short for us. So we'll take off with 23 from the crosswind and make an immediate right turn, and then we're going to route to, it's not Stansted, it's Stornoway, and by the time we've climbed up to 33,000 feet, done our refueling, we'll be about here. We'll cross Stornoway, get onto this track, and then we'll go Mach 3. This will be our cruise climb along there, so it'll be awesome to do that from that sector onwards. So pretty much, to power up the aircraft, you do this here, set your lighting, which I'll pretty much leave it as it is. The thrust levers are in idle, and then there's a D10 to start the engines, which we'll do in a second. Aaron Flood, thank you very much. You've gifted 5 memberships to the subscribers of the channel, so thank you very much to all the people who are joining as a member. This is on behalf of Aaron Flood, very generously given, so welcome on board to Thrust Set Simulations, Stephen Gregory, Diesel Dave, love it, Tenured Amoeba, oh, it's a loads coming in here, Rubs, Matthew F, Steph, All the Gear, No Idea, Devil Riser. Oh, there's been 2! Oh my goodness, sorry. Not only Aaron Flood, but Daryl Edgen Smith has also gifted members. I missed that too at the time, so 10 new members joined. I won't read every single one of them out. That's very generous, guys. Thank you very much indeed. Hope you enjoy your times. Your time as a Discord, or as a member, and enjoy the members only Discord. Right, I am just going to turn that off for a second, because that is going to keep going off whilst we want to start these engines. So working our way down here, that's all set, the gears down, the lights will turn on during taxi, the spikes are in auto, leave these restart switches off. These 2 massive generators started. There's no timer, so we need to make a note of the airborne time. I've set the QNH, or converted it to inches of mercury, which is 296.2, is the correct altimeter. We'll set this to runway heading for runway 23, so 226 here, and this is another feature they've added, a heading bug, which apparently the original SR-71 didn't have, but they've added it here just for ease of use. The autopilot's quite authentic and working as per the original one. They just have a heading hold mode added, so you can actually bug using the heading, but it also can be linked to the FMC as opposed to what they would have used before in this ANS mode, it's called, to follow the lateral routing. And starting the engines, guys, is really simple at the moment. All you have to do is click the gauges here, or the generator here. So let's get a clear prop in chat. We'll get the engine started, and then we'll go there. Todd, is there a sonic boom model? There isn't, but when you do the flyby view, you can not hear the plane coming, and then all of a sudden it passes you, and then poof, it appears. But yeah, if they can add a sonic boom, that would be great. Is this a coal-powered autopilot? Well, it might as well be, Todd. It's very, very basic. Right, let's get these engines started. So what we'll do, we've got to turn the music off for this. So we'll click this.
Engine 1, engage Buicks.
So they're called Buicks, I think. These are the... Well, they're actually V8 powered? I'm not so sure. Look at them. I have to say, X-Plane's looking really nice with the sunsets at the moment and everything in the background. Superb. Right, I'll put the alerts back on. Better turn the sim up as well, haven't we? There we are. So this is for engine number 1. So we'll lift it out the gate and watch this. Actually, I'll do it on the first one. Watch the TEB counter go down. All right. So TEB.
Engine 2, engage Buicks.
There we are. So that's gone from 16 to 15. Look, okay, 15. So it's used a little bit of that TEB. We've fired up that engine. There's the EGT. But watch what happens when you fire a TEB into the engine. Watch this. Oh, last time I did it, you got a big green puff of a green flame there. Oh, I didn't get it this time. Oh, that's quite hot. There we go. And there actually were Buick V8 big block engines. No way. There we are. So we've got 2 good engine starts. EGT stabilised. We've got hydraulic pressure, fuel flow. It's a mere £20,000 an hour per engine. So we'll be empty in an hour. Just sat here. It's crazy. That's insane. Right, let's power up the flight controls, pitch, roll, and yaw motors, and the routing here as well. So here's what I made earlier. Routes. It's very buggy, the default FMC. It hardly works, I think. So I don't know if I have to execute anything, but if you look here, it does present the magenta line on your ND. So it's sort of cheating, I know, but it's at least something to follow. I use heading select to follow the magenta line, so I can keep that title of Child of the Magenta Line. So there we go. That's all loaded in, and now we'll turn on the lights. The chances of us crashing today and dying is very high as well. Yeah, we've got to do mid-air refueling to reload the fuel. We've only got £40,000 here. Right, so this activates nose wheel steering. Click this to release the brakes, and we're on our way. Look, we're already taxiing. We just stood to idle thrust here. Check the brakes. Brakes are good. Yeah, very good F-mod sounds on this. Look at the 3 wheels. Were the wheels made out of some sort of special material as well? Yeah, the approach speed is like 175 knots. Does this simulate your very leaky plane on the ground? No, it doesn't yet, Optimus Subprime. But you can overheat the brakes, which I found on the test sector. The brakes were smoking after my landing in Newfoundland. Can you be breathing in the oxygen in the spacesuit here? I've got this great pre-save view, this one here, so when you're on final approach and takeoff, you obviously can't see the centre line of the runway because of the design of the canopy, but that one there is great. I've got that pre-saved. A lot of this flight will be done manually today as well. We're going to climb up to 33,000 feet manually as well, and the descent, I struggled with the autopilot. This won't be a smooth flight, but there's some really good guidance in the VSKYLABS X-Plane forum. So I'll just show you where we're taxiing along here. It's quite a narrow taxiway actually. I've not been this way before. Well, I hope it's not. Oh crikey! Yeah, that's a bit narrow. We'll be all right. We're taxiing out to runway 23 this way. I took off from 05 earlier. There's a lot of fuel tankers there. They must be containing all of the. Was it JP7? Unbelievable. You watch this thing accelerate on takeoff. No yoke cam today, I'm just using the Airbus side stick. But I'm using the Airbus side stick with the Thrustmaster Boeing thrust levers. And there we are. Alright, down to 38,000. We've burnt £2,000 of fuel. Also, don't go too low on the thrust because you get that. That's the warning tone showing that you're close to idle. And you could perhaps kill the engines off. Tree Flupler Rain has an auto ignition temperature of -20. Lovely. Well, we've already used one shot to start the engine. We're going to use another shot for the afterburner. Oh, I forgot to pull this lever up. Apparently you've got to pull this lever out. There we go. When you're flying less than Mach 0.5. Right, we're at the whole point. Perfect. So we're going to take off from runway 23, immediate right turn, full afterburner. So initially low afterburner to get the aircraft accelerating, then 80 knots full afterburner. And then we'll take the afterburner off when we get to... We'll climb at around 350 knots. Now to refuel we need to be between 26 and 30,000 feet and 300 and 350 knots. And you basically flick the switch and a static KC-135 appears and refuels you. It's quite cool. Darth Alpaca. Oh dear. Right, make a note of the time guys. It's coming up to... That's local I think. Oh no, that is in Zulu. 1923 Zulu. Okay. And we'll make a note of how long this flight takes, okay? We'll probably be 1924 by the time I've finished lining up. We're at Canada. Let's see how long it takes to get to Canada from Scotland. What? It's just such a sleek machine, isn't it? No doubt designed using a slide rule. There we go. Right then, I think we'll do our infamous flyby, but we'll start off in the cockpit first. Right, I just need to move the view up slightly so you guys can see it. Are you guys ready then? Oh yeah, I can use my 3, 2, 1 soundboard now. Togus in chat, let's do it. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Brakes off. That's the afterburner alarm. Low burner's in. You'll hear the roar. There's low burner. 100 knots. Full burner coming in now. Oh my goodness me. 100 knots. 150 knots. Slowly rotating. Crikey. We're able to pause ready to climb, gear up. 250 knots. 300 knots. Oh my goodness me. There's 350 knots coming out of burner. There we are. And we're at 400 knots. We're on our way. So, we're going to continue the right turn to the magenta line on the FMC. We're going to climb at 350 knots, just passing 3,000 feet. Oh, dear me. Rest in peace, headphones. It was worth it. It was worth it. It's nice and quiet now. Right, we'll roll wings level there. And I'm just going to pitch up a little bit, just to get to 350 knots. Got all the controls here. So we'll bring the speed back to 400 knots. We're just passing 9,000 feet. Just turn the sieve down, it is so loud. Who we got here? Itch It Scratch It, member for 56 months. Thank you very much for your continued support, buddy. I hope you're doing very well. Can Upkeep, thank you very much for your €2.50. Your motorbike isn't with me today. That breathing noise is uncanny. Oh my goodness me.
That breathing noise is uncanny. Flush face. Say twice.
Unbelievable. We're not even doing Mach 3.2. I'm only doing a mere 400 knots. There we go. Right. So over Mach 0.5, I need to pull that in, press that red button. Alright, let's get to 350 knots. We're just passing 12,000 feet. Let's do a little bit more of a right turn here to get onto the correct track. Get pitch up a little bit more. We're now down to 33,000 pounds of fuel. We started with 40,000 pounds. And look at the ETA at the moment up here, 23.22 Zulu, based off our present speed. That is going to come down. God, I need to pitch up a bit more. I've got full military power, full military dry power, I think it's called. There's 350 knots. So I'm just going to pitch down here. So you've got knots here, then they have EAS here. Don't know the differences there, but I'm just going to lower the nose now, just maintain 350. Passing 20,000 feet. Still hand flying, we will do it right until we go sort of to Mach 2.7. It's all nicely in trim. Bye-bye, Scotland. Oh, bit sensitive in pitch there. And there's 350 knots. So, passing 21,000 feet. Remember, we need to get up to... We'll level off at 28,000 feet. Just doing a slight left turn to get onto our course here. It's crazy. How many shots of TEB do I have? 14 shots of TEB in each engine. It's good. We should land with plenty spare. Still at 350 knots. We're doing Mach 0.84. Obviously, when you climb at a fixed indicated airspeed, your Mach number will increase. And we need to be between 300 and 350 for refueling. Why is RPM limited to around 80%? Where are you looking? I don't know if that is. I think it just is. That's where the limiter is. Maybe they only make gauges up to 100. Mach 0.87. No flaps. Does it land like Concorde? Yeah, very much James Cooper lands like Concorde. High attitude. Yeah, manually flown. I'll be doing a raw data ILS later. Right then, so we're going to think about levelling off now because we're between 26 and 30,000 feet. There's 28,000 feet coming up, so there's a 0G level off. All good. And we'll bring the thrust back now. So there we are at 28,000 feet, hand flying. Bring a bit of thrust off because I need to get the speed between 300 and 350 knots at air-to-air refueling. And if you choose to get this aircraft and you do decide to, well, you have to go and do the mid-air refueling, make sure you completely top up the tanks. If you don't top up the tanks, the fuel tanks will explode, as I discovered, and the engines flame out. The reason is, it's something to do with getting nitrogen into the fuel tanks, and if there's any air, that gets really superheated and then it can explode. So yeah, good fun. Right, we should, at 28,000 feet here, be able to activate the air-to-air refueling. You ready? It's very basic, but it is fun. It's on. There we go. I'm now refueling. And look at the gauges go up very quickly. There we are. So I found out if you do a loop, the KC-135 does a loop as well. But it's a nice little touch. Nice little touch. So yeah, first ever time doing air-to-air refueling. On a stream, but it takes ages to get to the last bit. It fuels up this bit really quickly, and then 80,200 takes ages. there we are. Oop, just watch my climb. Speed's good. Oh god, the sim's really loud, isn't it? Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, I just realised how loud it was with that membership ping coming through. Astrid, thank you very much. 30 months, return pre-contact. This is funny if you've played DCS. I don't know what that means. But thank God that you didn't actually have to use any real skills for this. You didn't just enjoy the static image. But this is what the real Blackbird had to do. It had to take off with the amount of fuel we had, and then reach this height, refuel, and then carry on its mission. Oh, we've climbed about 700 feet with the tanker attached. No biggie. Just set this course to roughly where we're going at least. Oh, getting a bit low on speed. Right, fuel's at 77,800 pounds. And it affects the handling characteristics and flight characteristics. So I've just added 40,000 pounds of weight to the aircraft, so I'm having to add thrust now to maintain speed. 78,000 pounds of fuel. Doing Mach decimal 82. It's very quick initially, but just to get that last little dregs of fuel takes a long time. So I'm just trying to do my best to maintain level flight. Like I said, there's no real skill here for me. Oh, there's such an epic picture though in the sim. It looks really good. I have to say, X-Plane 12's lighting right now is really nice. There's the sun setting, but it won't be setting in a second. Oh, sorry, KC pilots are doing 2,000 feet with it. KC 135 guys. Right. 79,000 pounds of fuel. Oh, just watch my speed. I'm accelerated and stuff all over the place. You can't do this early. If you don't get to 80,200, it doesn't work, and the fuel ignites in the tanks. You've got to get to 80,200. There's 80,000 pounds coming up. Flyby with the tanker. Oh, superb. Right, 80,100. Wait until it says exactly 80,200. There you go. Let's stop at 80,208. We're fully refueled. So tanker off. We're done. We've got a maximum amount of fuel we can. Right. So let's just see where we are. So I want to just get to Sierra Tango November before we start our supersonic climb. Autopilot's off, so we're going to get there in 4 minutes. So we'll just maintain. Oh, actually no. What we can do is we're going to climb to 33,000 feet. I forgot about this. So we're not going to. So they're the burner alarms. I'm not going to put the burners on, but we are going to climb up to 33,000 feet. So how the climb profile works is quite unique. You've got to. I think there's two ways of doing it, but this is the most sort of popular way. So we climb up here to 33,000 feet. We then put full afterburner, descend to 29,000 feet at around 4,000 to 6,000 feet per minute, and then when we're doing Mach 1.25, we pitch up to maintain 450 knots. And that was the exact profile for the SR-71. Okay, so bear in mind that had we gone supersonic straight away after refueling, we'll still see how long this flight will take. But yeah, we need to get up to 33,000 feet first. Let me just climb up now. Still hand flying. It's really nice and easy to keep in trim. It's looking good. There's 30,000 feet. We're doing Mach decimal 0.89, just a little bit more power. Oh no, I can't because I'm going to get those burners going in. I'm just using full dry. Is it dry military power? 14 shots of TEB. We need to get to 33,000 feet at Mach 0.89 to initiate this manoeuvre. So there's 31,000 feet. By the time we're there, we should be overhead standstill. At 8,000 RPMs max. Roger. We're nearly there. Remember, I don't fly this aircraft, never flown it. Don't think anyone who has flown it will be watching this. That's for sure. Right, there's 33,000 feet. Alrighty, so let's level off. a little bit of power off. There we go. Just going to maintain decimal 89 or 90. And we're just waiting for Sierra Tango November. How long until we get there now? 2 minutes, 17 miles. And then we'll make our left turn over the Atlantic Ocean and start our supersonic climb. Oh, I know, Christopher Garrod, I'm just joking. I know it's stored away. The joke is Stansted is we fly there a lot in the sim, and I might fly there a lot in real life. Who knows? Very good. James, Jim busy out back in his spacesuit taking photos of Scotland. There he is. There he is. Hasn't said much yet. This is, of course, our new venture with Alpaca Airways, supersonic flight experiences. Do you have trim on this aircraft? Yes, Jordan, I'm keeping it in trim. So, but it's very solid platform, flies really nicely. So I'm just trying to maintain decimal 89, so I just had a bit of thrust. There's the burner alarm. So you get the burner alarm, so when you get close to it, any further forward, you're going to kick in the afterburner. We need an Alpaca livery. Brilliant. Coming up to Sierra Tango November. Turn off VORs and waypoints. Just do a slight right turn here. I'm quite pleased with my hand flying of the Blackbird. Doing a reasonably good job maintaining 33,000 feet. There we go. 6 miles to run. And then to Iraqqa. Nictus Alpaca Airlines Express inaugural flight. Optimus, do a barrel? No. wait, it's been a while since anyone said that. Where's my... oh, I can't find it. There it is.
Do a barrel roll!
Been a while since anyone's requested that. Take care, Aaron. Thanks for popping in, and thank you very much for your generous gesture there, buddy. Appreciate it. And for all those gifted members. 1.5 miles to run. You'll see it down below. There's the airport. And it's sequenced now to Iraqqa. Let's make our left turn and start our supersonic climb. Well, I say supersonic climb. It's initially a supersonic descent. That is the profile. Crazy. Right, just going to be at 33,000 feet, just balloon slightly in the climb. And this is just Mach decimal 0.9. Idea of the speed. Roll out there. Awesome stuff. Flying Warner, thank you very much for your generous donation there, £4.99. I'll let that ping up any second, and then we'll start out supersonic. Well, as I said, the profile is initially to descend, get to 1.25, and then we climb at 500 knots, or 450 knots. Just a quick Max Foss joke in there, brilliant. It looks awesome, doesn't it? Very good. Lauren, try a somersault, unbelievable. Is there also a way of accelerating without descending? Yeah, there was, Michelle B. I think another profile that's mentioned, but apparently this was the most common way of initiating the cruise climb, was to start this descent. Thank you very much, Flying Walnut. Let's hear what you had to say. Oh, God.
It sounds like the teach sectors were carnage.
What sectors?
Engines, crashing, exploding fuel tanks, just another day at Alpaca Airways.
Oh, dear. Yeah, we had some lovely T sectors, Flying Walnut. Thank you very much for your £5. That's very, very kind. Right then, so, are you ready for this? I've got the profile, I've got the table. This is what I'm looking at here, following in the background, the correct SR-71 profile. Here we go then. So, we're on track. We're not... Are we still over? Yeah, there's not many people living there. It's fine. Right, here we go then. So, full burner. There's the burner alarms. We'll use a shot of Teb. 13. And here we go, full burner. Okay, let's now descend at around 4,000 to 6,000 feet per minute. This is the correct profile. We're now going past Mach 1, 1.02. 1.03, keep descending. Waiting for 450 knots at about Mach 1.25. Oh my goodness me. Passing 400 knots indicated. Mach 1.13. Still descending at 4,000 to 6,000 feet per minute. Passing 400 knots, getting ready to climb at 450 knots. We'll have full burner in until Mach 2. I think it's 2.7 now. Still descending, just shut it off my descent there. Waiting for 450 knots at 1.25. There's 450, and now we climb and maintain 450 knots. So pitching up. I'm just pitching to maintain 450 knots with full burner in. And look at my indicated airspeed or speed over the ground in the top right of the tracker. And look at the ETA come down. Ground speed and the ETA. Watch that tumble as we climb. There we are. We're now back into the climb. Maintaining 450 knots indicated. Mach 1.3. All the information's just here. Let's make a slight left turn to get back onto course. 453 knots. So just pitch up a little bit more. Still hand flying. EGTs are slowly increasing. Got to keep the temperatures in range as well. Too long with full afterburner. You can overheat the engines. So pitch down a bit, just dropping from 450 knots. It's very important you maintain 450 knots during this climb. Remember, a fixed indicated airspeed in the climb, your Mach number will increase. Passing Mach 1.3. And 34,000 feet. Oh, we've got it all going on here. I need to turn this down, even though it is full afterburner. We'd love to hear it. Oh my goodness, we got more gifted members coming in. Daryl Edgeon Smith, thank you very much. 5 gifted members, very kind of you, sir. Welcome aboard to Ed, Richard, Tom, Cukesty, Camix86. Really, really kind. Thank you. Pete Rich, thank you very much. Or Pete Tech for the £5 donation, sir. Very kind. Thank you. 457 knots. Just going to pitch up a bit more. Thank you.
I remember you mentioning you have a Quest VR.
I do.
Have you tried it in MSFS yet?
I haven't. I've got the. I will try that. I've got the Quest 3. I will try that at some point. Thank you very much. I've tried it with War Thunder, and I found it quite disorientating. But maybe with Microsoft Flight Simulator, my PC will take it. Thanks, buddy. There we are. 449 knots. So again, just pitch down slightly. Just maintain 450. It's so sensitive. Look, and it just pitch down. There's 0.5 G. There's 450 knots. Mach 1.4. The actual acceleration phase through here is quite difficult for it to get to Mach 2.3. It's actually quite draggy, but once you sort of get above Mach 2.5, it actually, the acceleration increases, I think. It's to do with the supersonic wave over the aircraft. Passing 38,000 feet, 450 knots, Mach 1.5. Let's have a little flyby. This is what Mach 1.5 looks like if you're stationary. No sonic boom, hopefully in time. Oh, my god! Ah! Thank you for whoever spotted that. Oh my god, how are they not in auto? Oh my god, what's happened to my number 1 spike? What's our Mach? 1.6. Oh god, that was close. Oh, what happened to my spikes? Why are they not in auto? Oh my god, and that's actually affecting my thrust look on either engine. Oh, now I'm going to put them to auto. What's going on? Why are they... Oh, thank goodness for me. Yeah, so... Who was that said, who noticed that? Thank you so much. The cap, you flick the spikes. Yeah, thank you very much. If these are not in auto, you die. Thank you. Donna Mosina, was it you? Oh, thank you. Yeah, alright, I've lost my pit now. I need to pitch down here to get back to 450 knots. I'm trying to still climb, it's fine. Mach 1.65. And don't forget, we're really heavy. The actual performance increases as we burn off that fuel. If you're wondering, we have 70,000 pounds of fuel, and right now we're burning 40,000 pounds of fuel an hour. We'll be running out of fuel at this amount of thrust. Oh my god, I'm descending. We'll run out of fuel in around 50 minutes. That's ridiculous. Yeah, so basically the spikes, which you can now see, are automatically moving into the engine. I think it just ensures there's the correct airflow into the engine. So I had them in a manual position or accidentally knocked them. I wish they had guard on it so you can't accidentally move it. you look at here, they are now beginning to retract into the engine. It's a really good model. This, you know, VSKYLABS want to have the most authentic SR-71 experience you can get, and I think they're already halfway there. So there's a lot of drag still. We've got full power again, just pitching to maintain 450 knots. We'll engage the autopilot soon. You touched them while zooming in and out. Oh, of course I did. You saved us, Domino Mosina. You did, genuinely. Passing 45,000 feet, Mach 1.85. It's now beginning to accelerate a little quicker. So X-Plane has a really realistic aerodynamics model for, I think, for supersonic flight. So just like with Concorde, once you get above sort of 1.7, it's actually, now we've got more performance. It's sort of accelerating quicker than it did before. I'd love to know the exact reason. There we are. Approaching the next waypoint, actually. Nicely maintaining 450 knots, so we're able to sort of climb at 2 to 4,000 feet per minute, maintaining 450. Sammy, let's upstart the engine, please. What is that, Sam? I've heard about that. Isn't that blowing up or something? It's so easy to break this aircraft, system-wise, or if you mess around with the thrust. Also, when we start our descent, you have to be so careful monitoring the temperatures. The EGT is now climbing above 720, that's okay for now. Mach 2, we've just passed Mach 2. Ram Airspeed, that's what it's called, yeah. Look at our ground speed here. And look at our ETA. Oh. Passing 50,000 feet. But, oh, we better set standard. There we go. Sequence to the next waypoint, 57 degrees north, 020 west. Mach 2.1. Look at it, look at the accelerate now. It's accelerating so quickly now. 4,000 feet per minute. Unstarting is when the inlet shock gates push out the alignment from too much back pressure, way oversimplified but it'll work. And that's to do with the spikes, is it? Yeah, I think on one of them I did something with the spike and I did cause one engine to flame out and it went into quite a violent spin. I've got to land it yet. God. What's this temperature here as well? Compressor inlet temperature. I see that's slowly rising as we climb. And what was the friction? I know Concorde was around 100 degrees, wasn't it? What is it for Blackbird? Must be so much higher. Oh, it's also we've been flying now since 24. I've been hand flying for 25 minutes, no autopilot. I think once we get to Mach 2.5, I'll engage it in speed hold. It holds the indicated airspeed. And it's got a heading bug hold feature, which wasn't in the original Blackbird, but has been added just to sort of lower your workload. You can get it to follow the FMC, but I found at high speed it sort of just waves around the lateral routing. So heading bug hold's a lot more stable. And it's back to 450 knots. Mach 2.3. Look at the rate of, yeah, it's accelerating so much quicker now. Yeah, and have you noticed what's happening with the sun, guys? What's happened to the sun since we've left? Remember what the colour of the sky was? Oh, it's the actual limiting factor for your speed. You'll need to keep it under 427. Oh, really? The compressor inlet temperature. Clapants, do you love the SR-71? You seem to be coming in with loads of great tidbits, so thank you very much. Or teat-bits. I think teat's the word of the day. Right, let's watch 450. Pitch down a little bit. There's Mach 2.4. This is the fastest we've now ever been on any live stream. Oh, Rosie. Yeah, for the book, if you actually read... I was reading a lot about the pilots that flew this aircraft, and they admittedly said they were scared of flying it as well. It was just on the edge of the fly envelope all the time. pitch up a bit more. About past 60,000 feet. That was the height, maximum height, cruise height of Concorde. Just passing 60,000 feet at 2,000 feet per minute. Mach decimal 2.6. When it gets to Mach 2.7, we start increasing our rate of climb to make sure we fly a lower indicated airspeed, or EAS. Because the higher you are, this needs to come down. But obviously, the air is getting less and less dense, so your indicated airspeed is continuously under reading. So we're approaching Mach 2.7. The idea is we hit Mach 3 at 70,000 feet. That's the sweet spot if you've done it all right, and we're looking good for that. There's Mach 2.7, still full burner. I'm now pitching up a little bit more now to maintain 430 knots. There's 430 knots. So I'm just going to pitch down again now just to maintain 430, making nice smooth inputs. So trim, passing 65,000 feet, and there's 430 knots indicated. Pitch down a little bit more, passing 65,000 feet. Now, the manual talks about once you get to Mach 3, you can actually come out of afterburner. I've found in the VSKYLABS you have to keep at least the low afterburner in, but I've read online that this aircraft could stay in full afterburner indefinitely if it had to, but you have some other excessive speeds you need to worry about. Did someone say that needs to be maximum 427? It's all good, that's all good. Mach 2.9, 410 knots. Heading's good, keep the wings level. So there's Mach 2.9, so we now pitch for 210 knots. Oh, we're going to hit the sweet spot here. Yeah, Jessica, only problem is indefinitely isn't very long as you'll run out of gas. That is true. It's a bit like the nuclear submarines, they can run indefinitely, but the people on board do sort of need to eat and drink. Well, no, I think they actually had unlimited water because they could make it, couldn't they? Food was the limiting factor. Right, Mach 2.9, pitch now for 410 knots. Pitching up, 410 knots. Ah, we're going to hit it, we've made this profile perfect, we're going to hit 70,000 feet at Mach 3. Oh, I'm very pleased with myself, as long as nothing else breaks. Welcome aboard, thanks for subscribing. CapsFam1208, hope you're doing well. 70,000 feet, highest we've been, fastest we've been. We're just about to exceed Mach 3. Mach 3. Amazing. So now, I'm going to come out of full afterburner. Just a low afterburner. And now we'll engage the automation. So what I want to do is maintain 400 knots. Just going to pitch up a little bit more. And as we burn off the fuel, the aircraft will continuously climb. We'll probably peak at 80-odd thousand feet today for this flight. So I'm just pitching up to get the speed back to 400 knots. There we are, so 400 knots is in. Let's pitch down now. Still climbing. Mach 3. Alright, 400 knots is there. So, autopilot. Turn on. We want not hold, heading hold on. So now it's going to pitch to maintain approximately 400 knots. And I'm just going to probably give it a slight climb. You rotate the pitch here. And the turn here to turn the aircraft. So we're descending, that's fine. Just going to give it a few turns. Why are you not climbing? What have I forgotten to do? Don't descend. Oh, I've got to turn the autopilot on first. That helps. There we go. Whoa! Don't pitch up too aggressively because it will exceed the critical angle of attack. Oh, crikey. Yeah, critical angle of attack's here. So any high load of G and you'll just exceed the critical angle of attack and stall. So yeah. Don't forget to turn the autopilot on. That will help. Right. I'm now using the pitch wheel to maintain 400 knots. So I just keep rotating this to maintain 400. And we keep low burner in. I've tried taking the burner off, but I just lose speed. So I don't know if that's been a patch or an explain update. it does say you can come out off burner. So we've got low burner on, so it's not a full whack, but it's enough to just sort of maintain the 400 knots and sort of do a gentle cruise climb. And what's our ETA now? 2043. That's 50 minutes. 50 minutes until we cross the Atlantic and reach Canada from Scotland. There we go. Maybe we can take a little bit of thrust off now, I think. A bit more. That's the afterburner off alarm. And it's sort of just going to give it another rotate. It's not an aircraft you can go and leave. You have to sort of keep flying it. And I'm a little bit off track here, so let's just make a left turn. And yeah, we're just going to maintain 400 knots. Mach 3.1. We'll probably peak at 3.2. Hayden, is there cabin service? Oh my goodness me. Watch your lateral mode. Yeah, we'll keep it in heading select. You can follow the FMC routing, but it does not do a very good job of it. Especially over waypoints, it just oscillates left and right, sort of, you know, rotate MD-11 on release style. But I'm just using the heading bug to fly back onto the track. So, just going to pitch down a tiny bit. One click of the mouse wheel is enough to really just make a big change. And your pitch is actually now slowly descending, but that's fine. We just need to maintain 400 knots indicated. And you can see here, even though we're low burn, look at the fuel flows, much lower. Just under 20,000 pounds an hour per engine, so 40,000 pounds. And we've got just over 50, so, you know, yeah, about an hour before we need to start worrying about refueling. Flyby, you ready then for our first ever Mach 3 flyby? That's what it looks like if you're in a hot air balloon. And this is what it looks like if you're stationary. I mean, it's just do that one more time, and I'll turn the camera around. Does it have wipers? No, I don't think it does. Oops, watch my speed, 390 knots. Yeah, one turn down, it starts descending. One turn up, the speed starts dropping. But as the aircraft gets lighter, we'll have improved performance. Does it have wipers? That's absolutely brilliant. Isn't there a nav mode? There is, Michelle, as I was saying. It's oh crikey, I'm all over my lateral routing. It's a little bit too sensitive, so I'm just using the heading hold just to basically follow the magenta line. It works quite well. Mach 3.1. But as we're descending, that's actually going to decrease. We need to keep climbing. I just want to get the speed back to 400 knots first. Amazing. We've got massive. We've got a lot of SR-71 fans here. Right back to 400 and pitch up. Look, even like making small pitch changes just increases your G. Look at the spikes now in auto. The spikes are pretty much fully retracted. There you go. That's what it looks like if you're flying something like that. The speed is just ridiculous. Crikey.
50, 40, 30.
Stratocast, thank you very much for your $5 donation, sir. It's very, very kind. Thank you.
Okay. Just got off work over here in hot DC. Where are we flying? Are you coming into Dulles to pick me up?
Well, I could have a little diversion, but no, we're making really good progress here. We've been airborne now 24, 34, 40, 54. We've been airborne for 35 minutes, and we are 35 minutes since we took off, and look where we are. We're south of Iceland, and we're going to be here in 45 minutes time. Bear in mind we had to do a subsonic climb, refuel, and then delay our supersonic climb to get over before we're over the Atlantic.
50,
That's
40,
absolutely bonkers, isn't
30,
it? Thank you very much,
20.
Stratocast. That's very kind. Who else we got coming in? Thank you very much to Chipper Wolf. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. So what a pleasant surprise. Keep up the great content, old chap. Thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. Thank you. What is the current flight level, Adrian? We are in a sort of shallow level flight. It doesn't have an altitude hold feature, sort of like Concorde. It does I guess a sort of cruise climb. So you just pitch to maintain 400 knots. We're in a very steady climb. That we're just passing 73,800 or 900 feet. By the time we start our descent, we'll be at 80,000 feet, probably about Mach 3.2, 3.3. Just maintain 400 knots, and you have these maximum speeds depending on your altitude. So 400 is maximum at 85,000 feet, 450. Well, it's actually 500 to 450 now, so we're way below. About a third of the way, and it's, you know, super smooth. Tell you what, the guy in the back didn't have much of a view, did he? I couldn't see anything, and he couldn't even see out the side. Yeah, we've got to do a lot of those. Oh my. Mach 3.2. Almost. Now you see, because we've burnt the fuel off, it's now sort of able to climb and hold the speed here. So we're just keep doing a shallow rate of climb here. There's Mach 3.2. Someone said keep these temperatures 427 degrees. This is hot. James, the cockpit really reminds me of the Gemini capsule. Well, that was the same era, isn't it, of all this? I mean, a lot of the Apollo pilots, they flew was it the X-15? That thing, well, I mean, that wasn't classed as an aircraft, was it? It was a rocket. They did Mach 8 in that, didn't they, or something crazy. Jamlin, I've just purchased that game, Jamlin. Amazing, amazing. I bought it whilst it was on discount. It just got taken out of early access. I'm just working my way through the tutorials, but I'll have a look at that, Jamlin, to stream on the second channel at some point. I enjoyed the ETS2 stream last week. But no streams this weekend. It's my stepbrother's stag do this weekend, so I'm off to see him off when he gets married in a month's time. Oh no, a month and a half. Perfect aircraft for that, absolutely, Adrian. Adrian, nice to see you here as well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Rosa, can only imagine how hot it must have been in the cockpit with the heat from the windows. I know, it's been super hot. But yeah, I know it's something a bit different. I know we usually do commercial traffic as well, but I just saw this and I thought this will be good fun. And I probably spent about 10 hours learning it. I still know so little, but this is not an aircraft I could have bought. Oh guys, should we stream this evening? I had to really. This is probably. I've only done one successful test flight where I've actually managed to get from A to B, and I was streaming it to the members earlier, and I actually managed to take off, go Mach 3, descend, and land. The only thing is the descent planning is, I don't know if they need to fine tune it, so we've done that now. Just reset the zoom on this. There's the descent planning, that's emergency procedures. So this is a declassified manual which VSKYLABS use. Yeah, this is the descent planning. So look at this, Mach 3.2 at 84,000 feet, start your descent 238 miles before your airport. I did it at 300, okay, 300 miles before the airport. Would you like to know how fast and how high I was when I flew over Newfoundland on my test sector? I was doing Mach 2.5 at 50,000 feet. And I followed this exactly. You have to basically, firstly, reduce your power here, where the mouse, I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor. Reduce the power so you have 720 degrees, maintain 350 knots in the descent. But it's just so slippy. I think the aircraft's producing too much thrust at 720 degrees. So we're going to start our descent about 500 miles from St John's and see what happens, based off what this hit here. And I was looking in the forum, other people have been saying the same thing. So yeah, we'll follow the correct procedure. But we're just going to increase the point where top of descent is to around 400 or 500 miles. You can try and land this aircraft, or is this the first time, said Adrian? Yeah, I have landed it once, and it was a good landing. I don't know if any of the members who were watching it here earlier, but yeah, it was at minus 160, minus 170 by pure luck. But yeah, to basically land, I take this view. I have to fly a raw data ILS, and there's no flaps. You fly in it based off your gross weight. We'll be landing with about 10 to 20,000 pounds of fuel. 175 knots is your final approach speed. Yeah. Sam, witnessed. Sam, what was our landing weight? Can you tell the lovely people? So, you know, everyone wait for brace for impact. Let's see what we can do. Oh, Harry, if you don't mind us asking, any idea of when your wedding will be yet? You looking at winter, summer, otherwise? It's all booked. It's all booked. Summer next year. That's all I'm saying. Harry, thank you very much for respecting my privacy. Yes, married. Or married life next year. Engaged. Yeah, it was minus 160, wasn't it? Minus 170. It was a great landing, but I did have a minor issue with the brakes. In that I landed, the aircraft stopped very quickly, and then the brakes were welded on. I couldn't actually taxi without turning on the afterburner, and the brakes were smoking. Cat money's clear, minus 140. Oh yes, even though there's no Ortho 4XP, the runway has a slight. Well, if you've got XP, go load in at our destination, and you'll see Charlie Yankee Tango at Newfoundland. The runway isn't exactly flat, so yes. Cross the pond, I dare you. Well, they don't allow Concorde. What would they do if I turned up in the SR-71? I'm not sure. Well, approaching the halfway point. I love this. When you get within 100 miles, you look at the distance countdown. It's just so fast. What's our ground speed? 1,895 knots. We're doing Mach 3.3. Crikey. What was the... Well, I'm sure the actual top speed is probably unclassified what they actually went, but what was the fastest they ever went, sort of recorded and publicly known? I think it was around this speed, wasn't it? It was always known as going Mach, always known for being able to fly at Mach 3, but yeah, I think officially 3.4. Oh, we're nearly there then. Oh, fastest unofficial record was 3.5. Wow. Well, just have low burner on here again. It sort of suggests coming out of low burner to full military power, but I'll try it, and I've got enough TEB shots to try it. So if I come out of burner, so that's full military drive, but look at the speed, it just washes off. So I'm gonna have to use another TEB shot to get back the afterburner. There you go, there's the TEB shot, did you see it? The triabephyleproparine, there we are. So yeah, I can't maintain, I've got to keep the burner on low burner at least. Crikey. Yeah, what was that? So this was the story, isn't it, Richard? Yeah, so I was reading about this, and one of the members, this was where there was in California, wasn't it? And there was a Cessna requested their speed from the controller. He said the speed, and then someone in his twin engine prop was like, well, I'm going 140 knots. And then there was a Navy jock pilot who was doing about 500 knots, and then the SR-71 was on frequency, and it, what did you say, it was doing 1,900 knots or something. It's crazy. There we are. Oh, we are going fast. Mach 3.3 and accelerating. Slowly climbing, 395 knots indicated. Shallow climb. Coming up to our next waypoint. Yes, look at the distance. 49, 48, 47. This is how fast it went. 46. Oh, it's just bonkers. Oh, I wish it was doing that on my day 5 sector from Tenerife back to the UK. Did they model the cockpit on a Toblerone, Stephen? Brilliant. I think I need a little less power. Just going to put it on low burner. Yeah, there we are. Don't want to overspeed. Oh, it does say here 80,000 feet, which we're just below. We can do 450 knots, and I'm only doing 395. It's all good. Yeah, the LA speed check story. That's it, Kevin. I was reading about it. Amazing. They didn't say if it was true or not. A lot of people doubt it, but by the way, it makes a good story. Right, about to fly over 55 degrees north, 030 west. We're 1 hour 10 minutes into the stream, and we've travelled about 800 nautical miles, I think. Maybe more, I don't know. We're just going crazy. Anyway, even though we're 11 miles away, we'll probably best start this turn because of the speed we're flying. Max, approaching Mach 3.4 here. There we are, 2 miles, and it's sequenced now to the next waypoint, 53 degrees north, 040 west. How long to go? 900 miles, 970, 969. So about 400, well, about 400 or 500 miles. We'll start our descent. Better just check what the weather's like with live time, live weather. So it's 150 at 11. Ah, great. So we're going to have to land on the easterly runway, and there's a bit of a glitch with the runway here. It's a bit of a ski slope, so we're going to land a bit long. We do have a drag chute, which is super effective, but we'll get as much tuned up as we can now. The ILS frequency is 1091. They did have ILS receivers, I've been led to believe, so I can make that active for now. I'll put on standby the VOR, which is Torbay 13.5. And same on nav2. Just got active working HSI. The ILS on standby, which is 191. So I'm using my radio tuning panel for this. Minimums. Well, the weather's okay. You know, it's 15 stationary scattered cloud, 19 degrees. Yeah, imagine me having to do like a landing in 300 feet overcast conditions today. Unbelievable. But yeah, I've just set the frequencies. Minimums will just sort of disregard. We're going back 3.4. We are shifting. What's that? 1,920 knots across the ground. And there's that with a headwind. With crossing this direction. I don't know. Gotta do that again. Mach 3.2. That would blow your ears up, wouldn't it? Bye! Turns to the left, a couple of degrees to the left, approaching 80,000 feet. EGT sort of stabilised. We've got just under 50,000 pounds of fuel. One of the tanks is empty, but it sort of automatically transfers as required, and the CG as well keeps within limits. Almost at 80,000 feet. It's just continuously climbing. Remember, it doesn't have an altitude hold feature. Maybe no one's commented on my call sign today. Spy1. Hugo, hi. Do you do training at Stanton Training Centre? Because I had an instructor who had the same voice as you, and I was not sure if it was you. I don't wish to disclose which training centre I'm based at, Hugo. Thank you very much for respecting my privacy. Everyone who I have instructed has cottoned on quite quickly if they do watch the channel who I am. I don't say at all because it's nothing to do with work. But yes, you probably could have been me, I don't know. But, good luck with your type rating is all I can say. Corner, can you mid-air refueling? Explain. In this aircraft, yes, it has a very rudimentary way of refueling, which you need to do in the SR-71, because you can't take off with 80,000 pounds of fuel. You make sure you're in a certain height range between 26 and 30,000 feet, put your speed between 300 and 350 knots, you press this, and a static KC-135 tanker appears and refuels you with your JP7. Okay, would it be affected by wind with the massive pressure wave in front? Probably, right, it just pushes everything out of the way, but the actual ground speed probably, the wind or the air you're moving in is probably going to affect your ground speed. Oh yes, we're about to reach 80,000 feet, oh no, 78,000 feet nearly. We'll be there, I reckon, by the time we start our descent. 840 miles to run. I mean, look at the sun, how high it is now. Remember, this is meant to have set. If we were to be in Lossiemouth now, the sun would have set already. It was just about to set when we took off. Amazing. Simon C, thank you very much for respecting my privacy whilst I fly this spy plane over your house. Brilliant. Don't make me laugh. For those of you who are familiar with the channel, I've had a really nasty chest infection, which I've cleared, but I found out since I got my medical renewal, I found out since that it was whooping cough. I had whooping cough, a disease from the... What's happened to my alerts? I don't know why that's not pinged up. A whooping cough, a disease from the 50s and 60s. That's what I had, which is why I was coughing continuously. I still have it, but laughing triggers it, unfortunately. But oh god, I almost got rid of it now. It was great. Chipper, thank you very much for your donation. It will ping through any second. I was just checking if the alerts were on. They are. Sometimes it's a bit slow. What would the nose temperature be at the point? I'm sure that's been answered in chat now. Yes, just over 300 degrees. Amazing. That's so hot. Thank you very much for your donation. Very, very kind. Stratocast. Also, whooping cough is an old school kids disease. I know. Don't even tell me, Stratocast. Something kids get, and it's really bad for kids. Really deadly for infants. And I got it. I had whooping cough. But my AME, who does my Class 1 medical renewal, said it's been quite common in the UK this year. But I had the vaccination. I asked my mum. I said, yeah, you had the vaccination for that. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm thankfully not such a person anyway, so I have all my vaccines. There is the tip of the nose. Someone commented about top of descent. Top of descent is around 350 miles, correct. I think the table here suggests we are 3.2, 80,000 feet, 236 miles. But the problem is, you know, I think they need to adjust the amount of thrust that's produced from the engines, because the first thing you do is this, look. At descent, throttle 720 degrees at military power and maintain 350 knots. You do this, but it just does not slow down quickly at all. And I did this on my sector. I followed the table exactly. I started descent at 250 miles away, and I overshot Newfoundland at Mach 2.5. Trying to slow down. I did a massive orbit, big loop, like a 100-mile radius, and landed on the reciprocal runway. But we're going to aim to start descent, you know, around, let's do 400 miles. I think they need to adjust the amount of thrust that comes from the engine. So again, 380 knots here, sort of Mach 3.4. Oh wow. I mean, look at the distance go down. 138, 137, 136. That's no time compression, that is how fast this aircraft is. Use the drag chute, that would work. Aaron, it's taking ages. We've just... Look, I've been streaming for an hour and 17 minutes. Bear in mind, we're talking for the first 10 minutes and refueled. Look, we're approaching Canada. Approaching Canada. Oh. Harry, random question. But how much do you pay for your Class 1 renewal? I found so much variation price that I can't even work out what's average anymore. So I have two licenses. I have a UK license, Brexit, and an EASA license, and my AME does a dual medical renewal, so he renews both my Class 1 for EASA and the UK, and that's £350. That's what that costs. And I think it's around everyone I've spoken to does the same price. But I used to go to one for years, but ever since Brexit, she stopped doing EASA licenses. So I was like, okay, so I found a new AME. It's actually a little closer to home that does both UK and EASA. Stratocast, are we referencing some very popular meme here? I will not comment any more on this, but thank you very much. The 100-day cough I have heard about. Yes. Well, I'm well into it now. I started about 2.5 months ago, and I've not coughed once during the stream, but those of you who have watched the last 2 months, I can only apologise for my spluttering. Oh dear. I'll wait for that to ping up for new comments. Oh dear. James says getting to Canada in an hour isn't still fast enough. We need to go 25% of light speed. Yeah, we'll struggle with that. We'll struggle with that. Just a couple of degrees left to get over that waypoint in 40 miles. I know it's not realistic, but I'm glad they've installed this. Otherwise, how else would I know how to navigate? 'Cause like I said, they used celestial navigation or something, I think. Renewal 150 quid. Yeah, but that's for both licenses, Sam. But yeah, for one license, yeah, one renewal for one license, yeah, 150 quid.
40, 30,
Thanks, Stratocast.
20, 10.
Can't wait to hear how this is read out.
Take care of yourself, sir. Wikipedia says whooping is nicknamed the 100-day cough hawk tour.
Oh my god. Thanks, Stratocast, very kind. Unbelievable. It's the first time I've heard that voice via Microsoft Ian or whatever his name is. Unbelievable, thank you. Torn 4x4, very heavy breathing, I know, that's Jim. I told him to quieten up back there. Right, we're going to start our descent very soon, at 130 miles, which you can see here. That's how quickly we're travelling. Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
Minimums.
Oh, cat. How does a penguin build its house? It glues it together. Sorry. Oh. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Very good. Very good. That one I guess. Most of Cat's checks I don't, but that one's good for my level of intelligence. Thank you, Cat, for your continued support. Incredible amount of time. What's the current ground speed orange icing? You can see that right at the top of the screen. There's no other indication of it. 1,943 knots. And credit to VSKYLABS, because this isn't an aircraft you can just jump in and fly. We've had to follow the authentic, realistic profile to get here. And I purchased this jet. I have no affiliation with them at all. But, you know, the project they have, which they have a lot of aircraft, this is their sort of bread and butter now, is that they want to get this aircraft, you know, working as realistically as possible. So, you know, it's highly engineered. They've got authentic autopilot as per the original one. Very basic, but it is as per the real one. The performance and handling characteristics are as close to the real aircraft as possible, just taking the normal limitations from the simulator. But things like the temp counter, how the engines work in the afterburners, they're all very realistic. So, you know, if you want a bit of fun, I'd highly recommend this. It's great. Pro streamer, I know, having still. No worries, orange icing. Yeah, you get all the basic flight information here on a overlay. Right, guys, 570 miles to run. Again, until I think they fix this. You know, because you can't just pull the power. You pull the power, the engines will just flame out or be damaged in some way. You've got to keep the thrust really high in the initial descent. So you initiate it by reducing thrust. So you have your EGT of 720 degrees, and then you decelerate to 350 knots, and then basically descend at 350 knots at 720 degrees. But at the moment in the current build, that gives too shallow a descent. Harry, follow-up question. Did you have to do a respiratory test following your cough? My MEs have already been really harsh on any cough due to my asthma. That'll probably be why I'm suspending my medical after a basic lung infection. Wow. I don't know if that's a requirement if you have asthma, but no. I did some coughing for him and did the blow in the tube thing, but I was able to easily surpass the minimum pressure test. So, no, he just said, look, you had whooping cough. That's what it is. My GPs work really hard, the doctors do, but he wasn't very. I'm not going to say probably what I thought. It was just, here's some antibiotics, off you go. Didn't really do anything. It was my AME who was actually, yeah, this is what you've got. He used to be a GP, so Anyway, that's a story for another day. The majority of GPs are underpaid and overworked. This particular one, though, I was there for less than 2 minutes. That was it. Anyway, 512 miles. I'll go to 400. I'll go to 400. But the VOR is tuned. Again, this is the plan. Alright. We're now inbound to our final waypoint. I'm going to route direct to the VOR, which is just to the southwest of the airport, and then fly along downwind, then a 180 degree turn and land on runway 10. That's the plan. I will be utilising the routing and the display on the FMC to do this. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Otherwise, I could probably fly some procedural approach, but that's going to be tricky. But yeah, our time at Mach 3 is over. We've been airborne not even for an hour. We just surpassed an hour we've been airborne, and now we're starting our descent into Canada from Scotland, just to show you how far we've gone. There we are. There we go. Right then, so this is what we are going to do. I'm just going to leave it in the pitch hold mode, but I'm now going to take the afterburners out. 470 bar. Yeah, this is how long I needed earlier. So slowly reduce power until the burners are out. There's the burner warning tone. So we're off our afterburner, and now I'm reducing power so we have 720 degrees. Turn this up a bit now. No less. If you go less than 720, not good for the engines. So 720. I've learnt the hard way, trust me. So there we are. Now we want the indicated airspeed. You can see it's starting to descend, which is good because it's pitching for the speed. We want to go 350 knots. So I'm just going to adjust the pitch to get to 350. Silence. But silence with pace. We still have a lot of speed. Mach 3.2 coming up to 350 knots. Now I'm going to start pitching down a bit more to maintain 350 knots using the pitch wheel on this very basic autopilot. Oop, look, see, look, temperatures are just beginning to drop off, so just add a bit more power to keep them at 720. No less than 720 degrees. There's 350 knots, and we're descending at 3,000 feet per minute. Okay. It's actually descending quicker than it did on my test sector. Maybe it's something I messed up, I don't know. We're just decelerating past Mach 3. Temp bleeding off again. Where's that, James? What am I looking at there? Can you fly using purely off VHF radios for nav? Yeah, if you wanted to fly VOR navigation, you could do. Just watch that speed. I've got to maintain 350 knots minimum, so that rate of descent is good. I hope I've not now descended too early. Oh dear. No, we'll keep it going down as it is. Oh, EGT, yeah, it keeps dropping. Sorry. Just a bit of power. Ah, the Sims crashed. No! Oh, come on. Oh, encountered Vulcan device loss error. Oh, this sim, it sucks sometimes. Oh, no! It was going so well. It did this on a flight yesterday as well. The sim is so unstable. Oh, well, I'm not going to repeat the flights too far. Alright, what? Just sort it out, Laminar Research. It's so unstable. I had 2 sim crashes in preparation for this. My first test sector had no issues there at all. Right, what we'll do then, look, so it's not completely at a loss. What I'll do is I'll reload the sim and we'll load up in Newfoundland, and we'll do a circuit to finish off. But yeah, this is why I've not hardly been using it lately. X-Plane 12 is so unstable, I've given up on it. So I haven't done many X-Plane streams recently. I've been planning this one for a couple of days, and I had 2 crashes, and it was around the same time in descent here. And then I did nothing. Did the test flight earlier, and it worked okay. Didn't crash. But I don't think there's any autosave function. But it was going so well. Right, let me load up the sim. Look, what we'll do, we'll load up in Newfoundland and we'll do a circuit. But that was going so well. Oh, but it was around the same point it did it on the test sectors as well. Right. Anyway, it happens. It happens. Right. Let's turn that off. Nim, you don't even have X-Plane installed anymore because it crashes. Mr. Tolis aircraft there, yeah. Right, so what we'll do, for a bit of fun, look, we'll load up in at our destination, which was, what was the code? I can't remember now for Newfoundland, St. John's, Charlie Yankee, Yankee Tango. And we'll do a little circuit, guys. We'll do a little circuit off runway 10. Just to show you I can land it. I'm not even running the beta. No, I don't run the beta. Thomas, I don't run the beta for that reason, but this is just the full latest version. Maybe you've uninstalled X-Plane due to many Vulkan device loss errors. Yeah. It's a great sim, and it used to be really stable, but as it's been developed, it just, yeah. I've been having a lot of crashes as well. There we are. Clunk. So here we are. We're back in the aircraft. Look, let's do a little radar vector circuit. So again, we'll just get the battery on. We should, yeah. Is that too heavy? I don't. Or can I maybe lower the fuel load slightly? Let's see here. Oh crikey! Where's total? 18. Yeah, that'll be it there. Oh yeah, look. Let's lower it down to £20,000. There we go. Might be a little bit more manageable now. So we'll start the engines.
Engine 1, engage Buicks.
Thanks. It was going well, wasn't it, Keith? It was going well. We'll try again, guys, on another flight. We'll try again on another flight. But we'll do a little radar vector circuit just to show you I can land it. Well, I better be able to land it. Right. Let's get the. Oh yeah, I like seeing the temp shot go in. There we go. Oh, didn't you get the temp shot? I swear I got the temp shot during engine start earlier. Starting engine up 2. Yeah. Very good. I'm already breathing heavily. Right, I need a bit of that. I need a bit of that. I've not done anything here. Temp shots are fine. Nose wheel steering on. Oh, I need to turn off the Toby eye tracker. I don't like it in X-Plane. It looks a bit jerky. Flight control surfaces are all on. Don't need an FMC. I'm just going to tune up the ILS. Oh, I think just Navigraph's having a bit of a moment as well. There we are. So ILS runway 10, which is the runway we're on. So 191 for the ILS. Oh, I'm so annoyed. That was going so beautifully well as well. There we are. So we've got the ILS tuned for the next approach. So what we're going to do is a radar vectored circuit up to 250 knots. Round to the right, and then we'll land and then taxi onto stand and call it a day as well. Yeah, it's a Buick V8, James, to get them started. It's really cool. Lights are on. Lights are on. Perfect. All good. We've lowered the fuel. Don't need the autopilot for this flight. Cool. Right. Let's Toga's in chat. Take the parking brake off. Oh crikey! Why are we turning? Nose wheel steering. Oh no, I turned it off accidentally. Amazing. Right, yeah, this is the crazy runway as well. That's not flat. Right, here we go. There we are. Off the brakes. Low burners in. Accelerate so quickly. 80 knots. Oh, the runway's not flat. There's 100 full power now. 150. Oh my god, this runway is not flat at all. I'll land on this in a second. 200 knots rotate. Gears coming up. Coming off burners, there's 250 knots. I'm already doing 250. Let's climb up to 1,000 feet. Right-hand circuit. Oh, let's actually kick the burners in as we go around the corner. Amazing. Oh, I'm doing 300 knots. Right, well, there's 1,500 feet. Let's bring the speed back. So we're doing ILS. Oh, such a shame, guys. Such a shame. Couldn't complete that flight. There's 250. We're downwind. Get it all in trim. This is my final approach view. There's the airport and the runway. That's the side runway, the crosswind runway there. Flying it like an F4, yeah, it's all good. It's about 1,000 feet. Final approach speed will make it about. Oh, look to the fuel. There's a fuel gone up. I thought I'd lowered it. Oh no, 16. I'll lower it a bit more. There we go. Right, 200 knots. That's fine. Indicated airspeeds here. EAS as well. It's lovely to hand fly actually. It's all nicely in trim, but with no flaps, when you go slow, you're quite close to the critical angle attack, which is here. When you hit the red line, you're exceeding that critical angle attack close to stick. Well, stall. But did it have a stick shaker?
50.
So sure.
40,
Straticast, thank you very much
30,
for $5, buddy.
20,
Very kind.
10.
Thank you.
Have you been to the A&S Museum at Dulles Airport in Virginia?
I haven't.
They've got an SR-71 there and the 707 prototype that did a barrel roll.
Ah.
Great museum.
Was that the one from Bob Hoover? Is that the one he barrel rolled, or am I thinking of someone else? I'm not sure. Amazing. No, I've not been there. I've been to Duxford, which has an SR-71, and seen that one. And I've also been to the Museum of Flight in Seattle. That's the only... oh no, I've actually been to a boneyard when I lived in Arizona. What's that? Is it Pima? The Pima Museum in Arizona I went to when I lived there doing my instrument rating. So very, very cool. I've not been, but I'll make a note. Right, let's turn final. Gonna maintain 1,000 feet. I'm doing 200 knots indicated. Just add a bit of thrust there, don't want to get too slow on the turn. See the angle of attack's quite high. We're on base leg. Localizer should come alive any second. There it is, localizer alive on the HSI, which is straight ahead of us there. Just try not to climb. Keep that turn coming. Actually, you know what? I want a little bit of a base leg. Should have actually probably turned the tape behind tracker back on. Should get glide slope deviation. Well, just speed 220 knots now. Glide slope is alive on the. A little bit low on the glide slope there. Start bringing the speed back to around 200 knots. I'll drop the gear just before glide slope capture. Just going to roll out there. Localizer's alive. That's the gear warning horn. So we've intercepted the localizer. We'll go wings level. Can't quite see the runway, but there's the localizer deviation. There's the glide slope. So glide slope live, drop the gear. Localizer showing fly right. There's the runway. So this is the only view I've been using. So 3 reds on the Pappies. Just do a shallow rate of descent. Speed's back to 180 knots now. 175 is going to be our final approach speed. I'll land a little bit long here because of that massive hump on the runway. We're on the glide, so let's just start a shallow rate of descent. 170 knots, probably need about 900 feet per minute. Let's keep the runway at the same point in the windscreen. I'm nicely in trim now. 2 reds, 2 whites. Tad high on speed. Gears down, otherwise the gear warning horn will be going off, so that's good. Speed 175 on our final approach speed, smidge low. Just correct the rate of descent. I'm going to land a little bit long. I'm going to stay on the Pappies because of that silly X-plane slope on the runway. We're going to land a little bit long. There we are, 2 reds, 2 whites. Speed's good. A smidge high. A little bit of crossing from the right. Keep ascending. Cut the power. Hold it off. Oh, come on, I floated a little bit. Oh, floated loads. Come on. Oh, that'll do. Oh, I look really bad, but 158. Right, drag chute. Landed the nose. Drag chute's out. Minus 150, I'll take it. Manual braking now. And sort of, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Newfoundland. Or Newfoundland. There we are. Get rid of the drag chute. And we'll bring it to a stop here. Amazing. I won't do my taxiing music. Sort of bittersweet that landing was after the crash and X-plane crash and not being able to complete the flight. But we sort of landed at least. Shoot as an anchor, it was very effective. I barely used any brakes. That looks good, doesn't it, the sim? Right, we'll just bring it to a stop there. Perfect, and then you can click that to set the brakes. Perfect, and to turn the engines off, you just close them through the gate. Gives a while to spool down. I think it takes a while for them to cut off. Will go. Oh, I can't believe the sim crashed. We were doing so well. I think we demolished the runway. Like, no, we're fine. Textures are beautiful. Yeah, the external model looks great, doesn't it? There it goes. DC3 time, not today, Stratocast. Alan Short, do you think that supersonic air travel has a realistic chance of returning to commercial aviation? Well, we've got this boom project, haven't we? But the cost involved with these aircraft are, I don't know, hopefully. Fun fact, the SR-71 had no trim tabs. Interesting. How did trim work? Well, it works in the sim, but did it move the entire elevon? Interesting. Shoots an anchor, I saw that. Yeah, such a shame. Such a shame it crashed. We just started our descent. You know, 400 miles away, and then Vulcan did its thing. We'll replicate this, okay? I'll find another flight. You know, I wanted to cross the Atlantic. I don't want to do the same flight again, having sort of done 3/4 of it. But such a shame, such a shame. Never mind. It is X-plane at the moment. It is what it is. But we had a wonderful time. And I think you guys enjoyed it as well. Yeah, if you're interested, the aircraft's available. I think it's $30. I think I purchased it for. Great job by VSKYLABS. It's quite an authentic. They've done what they can within the limitations of the sim to make a really quite awesome add-on. You know, we're following the exact tables the real pilots use. You're having to get to Mach 3. God, look at the rudders. They are such an interesting design. Why it's doing that, I don't know, with the aircraft shut down. But yeah, awesome add-on. Island hopping in the SR-71. Brilliant. Anyway, hopefully the replay worked, and we could sort of watch the landing at least. It wasn't too bad at all. I floated loads, and I think I ballooned, but I was worried about that crazy slope in the runway. So, thanks to Edo, one of my moderators, who told me you can actually click here straight away and the sim won't freeze. If you drag it, it will. There we are. Well, we might be able to have a replay for once in the sim. There we are. Look at the aircraft. Ah, the SAS turned off to stop the rudders twitching. Got you. Ah, thanks for explaining. Yes, I forgot. It's got a... I mean, look at this runway slope. This isn't ortho, this is stock X-plane. What's going on? I think we're going to have to choose a different view. Yeah, I was worried about smashing it onto that. Oh, look, I ballooned up. And the runway was just falling away from me. There we go. Shows the drag sheet on the replay as well. There he goes. Was that actually the runway? No, Stratocast. No, that is the runway and X-plane. Go spawn in it and you'll see. Oh, look, it disappeared. There we are, little bounce. Yeah, it's great. We need to fly again. Amazing. Let's have a look from the tower view. Well, it's not a very good tower view. Oh, yeah, I'll be able to see the touchdown though. God, look at that angle attack, so high. I mean, it's just playing with two. It's a rocket, isn't it? Look at the size of the engine. Cool. Right, guys. Well, there's no view really I can't do for the replay here. I could probably leave you in a dash view so you can enjoy the landing from a GoPro which the pilot placed here. There we go. I'll put you from the base leg, or maybe a long final will do. There we go. Cool. You can just about see the runway there. Go for about there. Perfect. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for popping into another Fly Data Sim live stream. That was great fun. My apologies for X-Plane 12 crashing. It is what it is. The sim I've had issues with for a few days. It looks like everyone else is having the same issues, which is reassuring in a way, but hopefully they'll fix that. But I had great fun in the VSKYLABS SR-71. We'll fly this again very soon before I forget everything I've learned. I'll find somewhere else to fly from A to B as well. So thanks to everyone that donated. Very generous of all of you today. There was a lot of gifted members as well, so thanks to everyone that did that. It's very kind. And to all the members, thanks for your continued support. But if you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like it. It helps the channel out and the stream. And we'll see you for another stream very, very soon. Have a lovely day, guys. Cheerio.